Hey Fearminimalist, it's Sophia Lark of Fearminimalist.com, helping women of color break the fear-based emotional cycle that keeps them stuck in mother wound trauma. So if you're wondering, am I ever going to overcome these fear and shame-based stories that have shaped much of my life until this present point, I want to offer you a few pointers that will show you and encourage you that it's not only possible to make that happen, but that you can actually start that process in the here and now. So make sure you keep watching. If this is your first time joining us today, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate that. You could have been anywhere on the internet, but you desired to be here today and to give us a try. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. And if this content resonates with you, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so you'll get all the latest videos when I upload new content every single week. For the last decade and a half, I've studied complex trauma in its various capacities, with various populations and its various manifestations. And I've noticed some recurring themes. And one of the big ones has been the struggle to leverage what I call hindsights to transform one's life. Now, a hindsight, a traditional definition of a hindsight, if you look in the dictionary, is the ability to understand a situation or event only after it has happened or developed. The Fearminimalist definition of a hindsight describes an active approach towards facing the past. So you take the understanding of what you know, and then you face toward the past. You create these present healing pathways to get you to the future you desire. So it is an active approach to counter learned helplessness. So it's not just understanding what happened. It is, I understand this. I'm going to face toward it. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to create these present healing pathways. So in the here and the now, I'm going to create healing pathways so that I can eventually end up where I desire to be. A hindsight helps you to have this attitude of acceptance that, yes, this did happen to me. I'm not in denial about it. I'm not going to make excuses. Now, this doesn't mean I'm letting my abuse off the hook. That's not what we're saying here. It's not okay what they did to you. It's not okay. So that's not what we're saying. We're saying that I acknowledge that this happened, and I'm going to do the intentional work to redeem this somehow. That's what an attitude of acceptance is. And that is the active definition of a hindsight in the Fearminimalist sense of the word. So the first thing that you have to do is to leave your comfort zone. And you do this through having this attitude of acceptance. So this is the active approach to the Fearminimalist definition of a hindsight, where you say, I'm going to leave this comfort zone, and I'm going to begin doing that by using my voice. One of the ways that fear and shame-based stories maintain their potency in your life is through secrecy. Secrecy, it may not even be something that you are intending to do, but you've learned to abide by this code of silence so that you can protect the people who have caused you harm. But when you start to use your voice, it helps you to step out of that comfort zone. And so it may be gradual for some people. Some of us, it was gradual for me. I couldn't just come out and start saying this. Not that I feared somebody would physically hurt me, but I felt that I already struggled with rejection and abandonment in some sense. And so it was like, do I want to have a half a relationship, or do I want to lose this relationship altogether? And it took me a while to be able to say, I'm willing to lose this relationship if I have to, because it's really not a healthy one anyway. And so for some people, it's a gradual process. For other people, they're like, I'm cutting the cord now. There is no way that I'm going to continue keeping this a secret. And so using your voice helps you to start creating that healing pathway toward the future that you desire. The next thing to do is to begin creating safety through a reliable support system so that you can begin to lean on and trust in this system that can hold you up as you begin to take down your defenses and deconstruct the fear and the shame narratives that are keeping you stuck. So this support system can be a therapist, a coach, a support group, a family member or a friend who is securely attached and have good, healthy boundaries, or it can be a combination of those. The idea is to get that in place so that you can feel safe enough to start taking down those defenses. So it's one thing to commit to using your voice. Yes, I'm willing to say this. And you can start saying some things, but if at any time, in any event that you start to feel unsafe, what's going to happen is you're going to shut back down. And when you have this support system around you that encourages you to keep going, then you are more likely to continue to push through and become more bold in using your voice. And so this can be really one of the most difficult parts in the healing process, because the defenses and the protections that we've built have served the primary purpose of keeping us safe. And so even if they've been unhealthy, it doesn't matter. They have served the purpose of keeping us safe. And so creating those healthy supports provides this holding environment that where people are holding space for you so that you can begin unpacking this cacophony of experiences, if you will, that comprise your pain, so that you can feel safe enough to begin creating those healing pathways that get you toward the future you desire. After you have a reliable support system in place, you continue to create safety by designing mind-body spaces that help your body to experience consistent relaxation. The more relaxed your body is on a consistent basis, the better equipped that you are to make informed decisions that lead to a more positive future. Mind-body stabilization strategies help you to heal the emotional cycle that keeps you stuck in traumatic responding. And one of the ways to create these mind-body stabilization practices is to design what is called a feeling resource. So a feeling resource helps you to properly identify and label the feelings and the emotions that you're experiencing. So the emotions really, because emotions are comprised of our thoughts, what we feel in our body, as well as how we respond to the way that we think and feel. So emotions are really sort of a kind of a three-pronged experience. And so when you're able to properly identify that, you're in a better position. You start to build the language for expressing yourself in a way that brings more clarity about what kind of life you want. Many trauma survivors, especially with unresolved attachment and relational trauma, have not had many opportunities to identify and label what they feel because their voices were silenced through shame, through fear, through threats, through abuse. And so it makes sense that they wouldn't have that developed ability. And so getting the experience of identifying and labeling and finding the language, yes, this happened to me and it means this. And oh my God, there is an aha moment. There is a hindsight that I can leverage to begin creating these present healing pathways so that I can get to the future I desire. Finding the language allows you to do that. It leads to a shift in the way that you see your life, other people around you, and the world for that matter. And suddenly this full picture begins to emerge. And you start to not only make sense of what happened, but you're able to grieve what you've lost. And then you begin to create a path toward the future that you desire, that includes whatever you want it to include. And so that's pretty much how you begin to transform that trauma narrative into redemptive narratives by using your voice, finding the language, having that safety net around you so that when you start to feel scared, people say, keep going, honey. We've got your back. We know what it's like to sort of come face to face, to come to a crossroads and to have this moment of decision. And then we have to push through. And these people hold you and you go, okay, I can do it. And that's really what transforming the trauma narrative is about. And so that is how you can transform the mother wound trauma narrative, by leveraging hindsight to create present healing pathways toward a more positive future. And guys, if you want to get more practice with identifying and leveraging hindsights, be sure to download my free Hindsight Narrative Worksheet that you can get by clicking the link below in the description. And if you want to have a more elaborate conversation about mother wound healing and matrilineal trauma healing, you can connect with me on Instagram at Fearminimalist. I'm at Twitter at Fearminimalist and Facebook at Fearminimalist, where we can have a more in-depth conversation about healing the mother wound. And that will do it for today. If you liked this video, be sure to show some love by liking it. Hit that like button below. Share with your friends. Drop a comment below to let me know one thing that you took away from today's video. Like, what did you learn that you said, you know, I can actually take this today, like you said, and start implementing this practice now? I want you guys to let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe, guys. Hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so that you'll never miss a video when I upload new content every single week. And one last thing, remember that the sun is going to rise and shine bright tomorrow. The question is, are you going to rise with it and allow your best self to shine? I hope you do, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.